you here. For us, it's fantastic to be here, I can tell you that. Some of you might remember that we didn't participate 3 years ago. It was actually 6 years ago since we last participated. The reason why we didn't participate 3 years ago is that, as you might remember, we had the financial crisis actually hitting 2008, and then based on discussions with our customers and knowing that many of our customers have decided not to attend Anuga, we decided then to do the same. But we are very happy to be back, and we believe that that is really the right decision. We have a lot of innovation to present and a lot of products to show. So I'm excited to be here, and I know that my colleagues will actually talk a little bit more about some products. Myself, I will be talking about three main subjects. I'll give you a snapshot of where we are as a company. I'll speak a little bit about the new realities, how the environment is changing around us. And last but not least, I'll speak as well about the focus areas, how we are meeting the challenges but also the opportunities that we see in the changes that we see in the environment. So, to start with a company, I'm happy to say that we this year celebrate 60 years. We celebrate 60 years since we delivered the first machine in Lund, to the dairy in Lund. As some of you might know, we are 62 years as a company since we founded the company, so we celebrate the year when we delivered the first product. I'm also happy to say that we celebrate 60 years as a growth company. We've been growing every single year since we were founded, and that is an achievement in itself. And as you can see, although we haven't been in Anuga since 6 years, we haven't been standing still. We've seen 30% volume growth in those 6 years, which is something that we're very pleased as well. Now, the company last year grew with 5%, and you can see that we closed with 10.4 billion in revenues. And what I'm showing there is really the two main businesses that we have. And as you can see, it's two distinct but complementary businesses, is processing and packaging. And having said that we grew as a company with 5%, I'm very happy to say as well that if we would look at the processing unit, we would see that we grew that unit with 23% last year. It was a fantastic growth for that business for us in the company. Now, at the same time, I think it's important to say that we saw last year growth in basically all the geographies. And you can see that we're truly a global business. We are today present in more than 170 markets. We have 40 market companies, and we look at the world through the prism of 11 clusters. And if you look up there, you can see that Central and South America is the largest cluster that we have, the largest geographical area in the way we've divided that, and Greater China is the second biggest one in terms of revenues. That is, something that helps us to focus on the specific needs of the customers in those areas as well. So we have organizations catered to actually render services to our customers in those specific areas. Now, let me speak a little bit about new realities and opportunities. We've seen the world changing around us. We've seen demographics, the economy, and sustainability driving fundamental changes. When it comes to demographics, we see primarily a growing population in parts of the world, and especially in the developing markets. That is an important driver of growth for us. We've seen a major urbanization taking place last year, as many of you know, 50% of the global population was living in cities. And we've seen in other parts of the world as well the population that is aging, and that is specifically in developed markets. We've seen the economy driving a lot of change, and that specifically when it comes to a new emerging middle class, offering tremendous opportunities for a company like us, for our customers, and for us. And we've seen sustainability taking a very important part in consumers and customers' choice. Why? Because resources are becoming so scarcer, and for a company like us, that means as well that we need to do more with less. It's extremely important, and innovation plays a very important role. Innovation from us and from our suppliers. We've seen new realities when it comes to geographic growth shifting over time. You can see that if you go back to the 80s, you can see that most of the growth that we had in the company was coming from Western Europe. You can see that in the 90s, a lot of the growth was actually coming from Central and South America. And last decade, we saw that the growth was really coming from the developing markets. Not one in particular, that was primarily the areas where growth was coming. When we look at last year, we would find that more than 50% was coming from Asia. And that is, the tremendous change that we see. We're seeing new realities as well when it comes to stronger global customers changing the industry landscape. And you can see how that has rapidly changed. If we go back to 1990, you will see that 200 customers were actually representing 50% of revenues. In 2010, 68 were representing 50% of revenues. And last year, we had 45% of 45 customers representing 50% of revenues. And those are primarily regional and global customers having new, different demands. Wanting, obviously, on one side, to have a consistent portfolio of products in and across the world, but at the same time also wanting to fulfill the needs of the different markets. We're seeing at the same time tremendous opportunities for growth. Why are we seeing that? Well, primarily because of the population growth that we're seeing and the increased purchasing power in that population growth. And you can see we will have 2 billion more consumers by 2020. And that is important to understand, and for us important to really tap in and meet the needs and obviously meet what they're looking for. But at the same time, we have another opportunity, and that is in really being able to help our customers meet the needs of consumers in those areas where we're not seeing the same type of growth, where we're not seeing the population growth, but we're seeing different needs and demands. We're seeing opportunities for growth in all the categories. You can see that we really have 3 main categories that we're showing here: white milk, juice and nectars, and other liquid dairy products. You can see that we've seen tremendous growth until now. We're seeing continued growth from these categories going forward as well. And one that is worth to mention is the one at the bottom, the other liquid dairy products, that has been driven primarily by new consumers in developing markets, where China is an important driver of that consumption. So let me now talk a little bit about focus areas. And this is an area where we will be spending more time. I know that Charles and Michael will be talking more about it. But for us, it's very important to really respond to the challenges and capitalize on the opportunities by focusing on some important areas. So it's functionality and differentiation, it's custom system cost, it's sustainability, and it's food safety. Let me actually mention then something on each one of them. When it comes to customers, they're having rising expectations for better functionality and differentiation. And that is primarily on the functionality side, coming from really wanting to see better durability, greater convenience, better drinking experiences from the packages that they use to pack their food products. When it comes to differentiation, we want to see roll changer shapes, we want to see high quality printing, we want to see a strong environmental profile. And I believe that you will hear and you will see when we actually walk out what we've been doing and how we've been listening to our customers and how we deliver on their wishes. We have rising expectations for overall system performance that is becoming more and more important, and it's about reliability, it's about service promise, and it's about automation and integration. And this is an area where we've been really focusing on. Michael will talk a bit more in depth about it, and I'm sure you will see some of the new products and how we are tackling these opportunities as well. Rising expectations for sustainability across the value chain. This is about really securing that we have a responsible supply, that we work with different partners in securing that we do business in the way that is expected of us, that we really address corporate responsibility, that we meet the demands that we have on green products, and that we secure that we have the right levels of recycling, not only globally, but also locally everywhere. And that is an area where we are working very much with our partners, with our suppliers, with obviously local communities in order to secure that we have the supply, that we have the local schemes that actually can help, and that we have the awareness for consumers that actually then can help us also in achieving the goals and objectives that we have. And last but not least, we have rising expectations for food safety everywhere. And that is really the foundation of our business. That is how we actually started, but it's more relevant than ever. And here, I'm happy to say that we have several very interesting technologies to present, and we will see and hear more about it as we go forward. So there, I will stop, and I can just say that we all, and I'm speaking for my colleagues as well, we're all very excited to speak about the products that we have to show this time, and we are very excited of actually having you all here to listen and then to walk with us when we will go down the booth. So with that, I'll leave to Charles to take.
It's a real pleasure to be here, and an even bigger pleasure actually to be presenting the portfolio highlights that you see down on our stand here at Anuga. I'm actually going to start with the 4 value chain challenges that Dennis touched on, and talk a little bit about how they're driving our innovation direction. And my part of the presentation is actually focused on the products of today, what we actually have commercial and have launched today, and then we'll have Michael taking the tomorrow part of it. These 4 key value chain challenges, these we actually have in our strategy, and this is what is driving us in our innovation direction. These are the challenges that the value chain puts on us as an industry and what we actually have to respond to. And they're in these 4 areas of functionality and differentiation, environment, food safety, and system cost, which is our word for total cost. In the area of functionality and differentiation, we're seeing an environment of ever-increasing consumer needs and competition between brands, which is driving us to develop more options that can provide better functionality and more differentiation, so that our customers have products they can put on the shelf that compete with the other brands that are there and stand out against those brands, and deliver functionality to the consumers as they are using them, both in the experience of drinking and in the handling of those packages. When we talk about the environment, it's not just about the package, it's actually about everything we do as a company, all the way from turning the lights off in our factories and reducing energy everywhere, to reducing water usage in our processing systems, to reducing raw material usage in our packaging portfolio. When it comes to food safety, we're seeing a radical increase in the awareness from consumers on food safety, driving the need for more systems to give the consumers the confidence that they are buying a product that is actually food safe and ready to drink. And then finally, all of this comes down to a need to deliver these products and services at the lowest total cost. Now, as an organization, we're extremely focused on this and focused on this innovation direction. I think when you go down to the stand here at Anuga, you're going to see exactly what we mean and what we deliver to the most important thing in our lives, which is our customers and their business. We deliver 170 billion packages in 170 countries around the world. And that's gone from one packaging solution in the early 50s to one out of thousands of different combinations that we can deliver to our customers all around the world. And to do this, Tetra Pak has worked very hard to develop products and solutions that fit to all those different needs in the various parts and geographies that we operate in. And that's been achieved through innovation in design and transforming the consumer and customer knowledge that we have into those innovations so that we have something that is applicable to every part that we operate. Now, environmental excellence, what do we actually mean by that? Well, Tetra Pak has actually been involved in the environment and had environment as a strategy for many, many years. And we use the 3 R's as a guiding principle, which is renew, reduce, and recycle. And as the environmental considerations increase with more environmental awareness amongst the consumers, so does our drive to achieve excellence. And in these 3 areas, which I'll touch on now, we've put some quite bold goals. In reducing our environmental footprint, we have put a goal that in 2020, we've capped our 2010 climate impact to 2020 despite growth, which means that with a 5% growth per annum, actually we will, in pro rata terms, reduce our climate impact by 40%. Then we talk about developing sustainable products. Now, our products are already based on paper, which is a renewable resource, and roughly 70% on average is made out of paper. And we continue that journey towards full renewability with the sustainable products. And a very good example of that is green HDPE, which we released on our stream cap product in Brazil last year. And actually in these days, we're releasing the next cap called Green Cap, which I'll actually talk about a little bit later. And then finally, it's about recyclability. And there we also put a very bold goal of 40% recycling rate globally by 2020, which means that we'll almost double the current rate today, which will require a tremendous proactivity in all of the geographic areas that we operate in. I talked about food safety earlier and the concerns that the consumers have around the globe. And here again, we have 3 key areas that we are focused on. First is the point that Dennis mentioned, that we are built on the foundation of food safety. That is the roots of Tetra Pak and delivering a food safe product to consumers all around the world. But once the consumer has that product in his hand, he's concerned about the tamper evidence. Has anybody been tampering with the product before he actually manages to consume it? And there, a good example of our efforts is in our new closures programs with the tamper-evident rings that we have on all of our new closures. And then finally, once the consumer is drinking it, if there is a problem with the product, which obviously, if it's a Tetra Pak product, you would never have a problem. But if there is a problem, then you want to know where that problem actually originated from. And there we are very pleased to offer our new traceability options, which you can see in the automation control tower when you go down onto the stand. And finally, it comes down to cost. And this is not just about the cost of the packaging that we offer, but it's the total cost of all of the equipment and services that we provide to our customers, including the filling machine and downstream equipment and processing equipment, and the services which range all the way from marketing services to technical and performance services, all aimed at supporting our customers in driving down their total cost of ownership and operation. Now, we take this value chain approach, and this is a picture of the stand that you already have been to see or you will go and see later on. And this value chain approach is very important to us, and when I'm presenting the products later on, you'll see that each one of those, when you're walking through the stand, are represented through each of the parts, starting with the equipment where we produce the packages, going through the distribution equipment, into the retail area where we demonstrate the distribution and logistics and the merchandising solutions that we have, into our sustainability hub where we can show our environmental credentials, and then down into the portfolio center where we combine the portfolio with the differentiation and functionality and show how the various attributes come together to deliver a specific type of package. And then down into the consumer area, finally, where we're talking about different category trends around the world and supporting our customers with knowledge about those categories. And then you can go to the category bar area and actually taste the products that our customers are packing in our packages. So, with that, let me go into a short snapshot on 5 of the portfolio highlights that we have on the stand this year. Starting with the Tetra Pak aseptic package, and this is the latest in the families of packages that we can offer. It's a plastic differentiator for branded and value-added milk products. It's a brand new concept, combining the convenience and features of a plastic top with the benefits of a full printed sleeve. We've launched this now in Europe, and the next geographies will be in South America and in Eastern Europe. And we're very proud with the results that we have had so far. This package has a very strong environmental profile and will be launched only with 100% FSC board to start, already from the start. The next product is the Tetra Pak Aseptic 1000 Edge, which we have had just phenomenal success since its launch in 2010, and has already been adopted by 40 brands in 10 different markets already, and counting, I can say. It's achieved international acclaim with both our customers and consumers, and has received a very important award for Package of the Year by the German Museum of Packaging. It's hard to use the word museum for something that's completely new, possibly, but anyway, the German Museum of Packaging. This is a very innovative package format. You see the slanted top here, which allows us to put a very large cap on the top of the package, which gives very good pouring characteristics. The other feature of this is that because of the slanted top, it has excellent distribution features. So very good industrial capability for a package that has a cap on the top. So very exciting new addition to our family of packages. Next one up is the Tetra Prisma Aseptic 330 Dream Cap 26, which is a bit of a mouthful, but that's actually exactly what you get when you drink from this fantastic on-the-go package. Our really first on-the-go package, because Tetra Pak has actually not been so well known for having packages in the on-the-go segment. And a number of years ago, we saw that our customers were looking for something new and something different. And with our R&D department, we went right back into the lives of the consumers and studied what they were really looking for and came up with this new closure on an existing package. It was launched in 2011 to meet that demand, and really we've had global recognition with the package very rapidly spreading out amongst our customers in the various regions that we're operating in. This has also just recently, these days, been released with a green HDPE option for the closure. The next one is the Tetra Pak Aseptic 200 Edge, and this package here, which is shown in 200 and 250. Also a very strong launch in the deployment markets. With the initial deployment has been in Brazil and the Ukraine. This is a new differentiated portion package, but it's not just differentiated in the way that it looks. It's also differentiated in the sense that it comes with either a straw or a cap option. And this allows our customers to deliver either a new product or to reinvent the products and brands that they already have in something that looks more innovative and differentiated from the existing products on the market. We also come with a number of very smart distribution and merchandising solutions for this package. And when you go onto the stand, you'll see that we have one line that can actually produce all four variants of 200 and 250 with a straw or with a cap. And finally, in this lineup of packages, the baby of the lot, the mini, the Tetra Pak carton shot locker, which is the latest addition to our Tetra Pak family. The Tetra Pak family goes from 1 litre down to now 100 milliliters and is aimed at the chilled segment. The key focus of this is for the functional drinks market. It's a very competitive solution with a tear-off top, has a lot of consumer appeal for the one-shot drinking kind of occasion. So with that lightning run-through of our featured products, I'd like to say thank you very much and hand over to Michael Grosse, who's going to talk about tomorrow and what we'll see in the years to come.
To my heart every day, and I'm very excited about today to talk to you about tomorrow. Evidently, in the shortness of time, I can only give you a short selection of exciting products and some of the leading-edge technologies that we're about to show you. But we'll have much more time down there at the booth in order to ask the questions and get more insights into the whole breadth of our portfolio. I talk to you actually as the very happy father of 303 kids. I have 3 of them at home, and I have 300 at my work, so this is all the amount of the ongoing activities, R&D projects, product development and engineering activities that we have ongoing during this year. I'm going to talk as well about innovation, and innovation is the creation of a possible future. And what it really takes, it takes to think about, to do things that no one else has done before. So it is a level of courage that we require. I have the same requirement as the other speakers, of course. And I think this spirit goes back to us, even beyond our anniversary. We are 60 years old as a company, but we had to give birth to our first kit, which was our first commercial product. And indeed, what you will see in a short moment is the picture of our founder, Ruben Rausing, unveiling the first tube-fill concept to the industry. And since then, we have been progressing a lot. We have been changing technologies, we have been changing our products, and this does not really work. And what you would see in the middle of this slide is the progression indeed of showing Tetra Pak Aseptic as another milestone on our innovation journey. Since then, the technology has advanced. Many of different and new components and technologies have come through. And as Charles said, it's 7,070 combinations of products you can choose from today. But the spirit that is required, the passion that you need to do something that no one else has done before, is with us and will be with us for the next 60 years. In continuation of that picture that you will see soon back on this, you will see as well that a summary of what we're going to unveil today. And I will give you a little bit of a flavor of the type of leading edge technologies and products in order to demonstrate this. So, now let's talk a bit of tomorrow. You have seen the strategy that drives us, because this is not a strategy that we invented, this is the strategy that our customers are asking for. These are the areas that they want us to deliver solutions to. And we deliver our solutions in three ways. We deliver them in form of packages that need to be appealing for consumers, for retailers, attributes like interaction with the consumer. We deliver them in plant solutions, and this is to solve production problems of our customers. And we're not thinking about us as a supplier of single pieces of equipment and stainless steel. We are providers of integrated solutions. We think about what we need to get into a plant and what we need to get out of a plant. And we need to take a stronger responsibility for all the processes within a plant to make sure that you generate the best output with the minimum of input and with the lowest generation of waste and energy. And last but not least, it's our services. And you will hear much more about this on our booth. So we'll not have the time right now in order to penetrate that subject further. But we see a potential huge opportunity moving forward into services. There is much more to explore in order to serve and drive value to our customers around the world. Let me start with Tetra Pak Aseptic. It's a package that we launched in 2005. Since then, we have been able to attract this to 30 markets, 40 customers, 80 brands. We have 70 filling machines in the place. Now I think we're adding to this segment what I would call the most appealing aseptic carton package in the market. We call it TGA, New Shapes, Crystal and Leaf. And indeed, when we looked into the performance of this and we researched consumers in both juice segments and for liquid dairy across Europe and in Russia, and you see here the rating from the consumer in the scale of 1 to 5, and gets the overall appeal and attractiveness of this package. And I truly think it is not only that it adds functionality to what we have already in Tetra Pak, which is the large closure, which is an excellent pouring. With this type of shape, you add functionality for the consumer to hold it and to handle the package, and at the same time, you really have a true appeal and a fresh look. We should be able to see all of this during this year, so we are going to limited release in the course of the next 6 months, and then the full commercial release of both of these shapes will be available by year end. Another one, and I tell you, when I joined the packaging industries 9 years back, coming from the car industry, I thought I would never say this, what I say right now, but I think this is the beauty. Wouldn't you agree with that? Isn't this a beautiful package? I think for those people that are in markets where you see a lot of gable top packages, the gable top standard is a standard that is so established in the industry, so known, it's very functional, it's very good. It delivers all the functionality that we need in the market. At the same time, I think this is the modern answer, and I think really the evolution in terms of appeal and functionality in the gable top segment. I think this I will call, at least in my mind, the most beautiful gable top package in the world. So we have some proof of initial consumers, but I think you are a big judge here, so you represent the consumers and the industry, so in a way I leave it to your own judgment, because that of course is always subjective. At the same time, we made sure that we can port this and deploy this quickly by making it retrofittable to our Tetra Pak machines in the field. We did it, of course, because you remember a normal and standard gable top package would have a crease line here, and usually you have that layer on for printing, which allows us, in this case, really to enlarge the printing surface of the package. And last but not least, of course, it enables through this top as well a large closure and therefore a great pouring performance. Release is in 1 year from now, so I think you will see the package as well downstairs and interact, have it, have fun with it. Last but not least, on the package side, Charles already highlighted our progression when it gets to new closure and new generation of closures. This is Handicap 27, which is the big brother of Handicap 23 that we already launched. Consumer ratings after testing are all in the area quite close to 5, so quite close to the maximum in terms of the image of a package with this closure on top of it, the easiness to open, and the easiness to handle and to pour from. And indeed, we have been seeing that you can only translate that through technical means. We have been reducing the opening force by 60%. And we tested this package primarily as well on elderly consumers. And it's, in fact, the magic that you need to have, that you find a pouring force and an opening force that you can able as well that you have with elderly people or people with dexterity. This is really what makes it work for all consumer groups. As part of that recognition, we actually have been, this is the first one-step opening that has been recognized and approved as easy to open by the Swedish Rheumatism Association. The pouring performance is improved by 30%, and this is not by chance or not by just a preference. It's simply been, of course, enabled by a simply 30% larger opening surface that we generated by this. The environmental impact of this, we have an 80% lower CO2 emission, and this is not even being done through the new materials, as Charles highlighted, for the green option that come on top of this. This is simply being done by eliminating waste and by making sure that we have been able to reduce the injection time for producing this closure from 10 seconds to 4 seconds, 4.3 seconds. And this is only one example how with continuous improvements we can eliminate waste, take cost out of packaging while contributing to the environmental agenda. On top of this, as Charles highlighted as well for the other closure, this is true for this one as well, we're going to release a green option in the course of the next quarter that gives another 18% and another 19% of environmental advantage on the closure. For those that haven't tried, I really want you as well to simply try the green cap, because this design that you see here with the new package vis-a-vis this one that you have on the water package that was our previous design, you will see just as well the difference of simple having here this what we call a consumer-centric design. The knurls will give you a very different feeling of just simply opening the package. And that you'll see as well usually as the big difference that you have with many, many plastic bottles vis-a-vis the newest consumer-oriented design. Now we are more than a package. So now let me move into the area of the stainless steel, of the technology. And here I would like to talk to you a little bit in a different way. We usually have been only showing during Anuga what we felt we actually will deliver tomorrow, so that you can almost order it. I think we've taken this Anuga as well as stand that we have so many things that we show that you can deliver and take from today that we feel we want to give you as well a glimpse of the future. While at the same time this glimpse of the future is not just an idea, it's based on tangible technology and some results that we've been progressing. But I want to be very clear as well, so you will find all of what I showed here as well down at the booth. This is done in the spirit that this is concept. So this is concept work, similar as you go to the car industry, you will find a concept car which shows a leading edge thinking and as well as some concepts of technologies that we are exploring. The first one to show is what we call our hyper-speed concept. And this has been based on the success of our A3 speed system. And on the basis, we are taking now the capacity in carton packaging machines with this concept to another level. Today we run at 24,000 meters per hour. And this is, I mean, you can see the camera has a problem to follow it. So this is how you run an A3 speed at 40,000 packages per hour. It is the fastest carton packaging machine in the world. Again, it's on a concept basis here. It throws out 11 packages every second. The work that we've done on this will enable us at the same time to close another gap in our portfolio, which was to already put the Tetra Prisma aseptic package that we today only run on 8,000 packages per hour on our A3 Flex, and put this onto the high-speed machine. And we see the limited release of this in a year from now. The concept so far has been designed in order to enable that speed on a package for 100 milliliter. And again, in case you have more questions on the technology as such or on the concept, you will find some of those answers down at the booth. Another concept that I want to share with you is the next generation of sterilization on the means of electron beam. Today we work with a technology that is there around for the last 40 years, which is the use of means of hydrogen peroxide. Now when you go into these high-speed concepts, we've explored that using hydrogen peroxide puts limitations in our enabling of high speed. And one of the ways to overcome this is this, what we call the next generation of potential packaging material sterilization technique. It's based on electron beam, and it's based on the acceleration of electrons through a window and onto the packaging material in order to address the sterilization impact on our packaging material. The value proposition and the key benefits that we see with this is that we can take the operational cost to another level. We'll be able to address operational cost savings at customer sites, especially for high speed. And of course, we see more and more high speed going into our markets. It is, as I said earlier, the enabler for high speed or for hyper speed. We need this sterilization technique in order to make sure that we have a contract-free sterilization. It is based on a simple system. You know, it's a one push-button concept. So you have a very, very easy maintenance with it. You have less quality checks to perform. And it's monitored. That means we can constantly check what is the dose, and we can monitor and log all the sterilization parameters. It is dry and contact-free, which helps our customers because just to operate with bulk chemicals like hydrogen peroxide through the entire plant, you have to order it, you have to handle it in the plant, you have to put it to the machine. This, of course, can all be addressed and simplified. And at the same time, this one, the technology as such, would reduce 75% of our energy in the sterilization process, and in total it would address a 30% saving both in energy and CO2 emission for our machine system. At the same time, we are proud to as well present to you that we're now bringing, I think I call it the world of iPhone and the world of intuitive user interface into our Tetra Pak equipment and machinery. We are launching our new global graphical user interface that is an incredible intuitive way of dealing with our machines. So we want as well make sure that complexity of technology is not there to be bothered by our operators, by our staff, by our customers, by our service engineers, but it's something that is put into a box, whereas the user interface will be very, very easy to maintain and handle our machines. This new user interface embeds plenty of information. It can include the way how we do quality checks. We do it as a full integration across the entire plant. You have all the performance management and data available on your fingertips, and we will have it as well available not only on the panel of the machine, but as well on mobile devices. We'll be measuring this with consumer operators, and the test shows that you can drive a 26% faster task completion with this intuitive way of handling it. And of course, it addresses a lot of human errors and quality checks that we otherwise would have to do. Last but not least, I want to show you another way of how we're integrating knowledge, technology, and thinking from other parts of a total plant. So this is in order to introduce to you our new i-Line XT.
Welcome to the i-Line XT interactive demo. Feel free to ask me any questions. Let's take a look at the first scenario. LC30 Plus is the single point of configuration and control able to optimize the flow and the overall equipment performance of the packaging lines. The LC30 Plus provides integration along the entire line, including palletizing, pallet wrapping solutions, and marking solutions. The traffic generated in the plant by laser-guided vehicles is also managed by LC30 Plus, with the supervision of the LGV controller. The high-speed filling machines need a new reel of packaging material every 30 minutes. Before integration, the operators struggled to refill the machines on time, and they had problems keeping up with SKU changes and tracking unused partial reels. Using LGV reels has changed everything. Now there's no time lost waiting for materials and no risk of the wrong packaging material being used. When you've got several packaging lines all running together, optimizing performance is all about providing the right things at the right time in the right place. i9XT palletizing solutions provide flexible patterns and fast changeover between different product formats and pallet configurations. And Tetra Pak's pallet wrappers are designed to pre-stretch the film. That can reduce your wrapping costs by as much as 30%. With i9XT marking solutions, tracing any item is simple and secure. Printers and labelers identify the package, the multi-pack, the tray, and the pallet, giving you comprehensive, accurate information. And with automatic data management, there's no risk of coding errors.
So with i9XT, we are taking integration, automation, and the use of software in our company to another level in the industry. And you will see and hear more out of this down there in the booth. The benefits of this are evident, and we see, and we have already some initial pilot installations in different parts of our world, and it will be very exciting to learn and to hear more about this subject. Now with this, I'm at the end, so I only want to take a few examples I want to highlight. But again, I think you will enjoy the whole breadth and depth of our portfolio, our current portfolio, and the future innovations that I've been showing here. And this was more than a teaser at this point in time. So at this time, I would like then to hand it back to Chris. Thank you very much.